Well, I'm going to give an update on a Lakhovsky multi-wave oscillator, and you can see my cat's got some dust on him right here. I put him outside because he's scared like hell of this thing, right? He's like scared of it. So there he goes. He's a little bit antsy right now, but he was in his cat fence, which is 9 feet high, which has curved in like this on the top, and he was only out there maybe 6 minutes. And normally I can leave him out there a little while, and he's no problem. But a truck backed up by the in the other yard to deliver something. He got scared. He hopped that 9-foot fence, and first I thought I lost him, but he was underneath the stairs, and so he was like full of dust. So anyway, I was like, man, I was surprised. I wasn't totally surprised he could jump over that, but I was kind of surprised he did because of the truck. It was kind of like, I don't know, it was a good 50 feet away, but he heard the noise, and it scared him. And he's scared of this thing, this multi-wave oscillator. It makes too much noise. He won't even go near it when it's off. So he'll go within about 10 feet of it. So anyway, I'd like to ask Bob Beck, PhD, Doctorate of Science, if he was alive today, how he got the police dog to use it. Maybe the police dog was used to gunshots and loud noises, so it didn't bother him. So when he heard that, it was like, it ain't nothing. But the cat, it's like scary. So I have a couple of the Lakhovsky coils, and one's over like the two places he likes to go in. It's like a little cave thing. Well, one of it's like the pet carrier, but I got blankets in there. I got one over there. He has one on his collar, and another thing, he has another box thing, so he sleeps under there. So he gets the benefits of the healing waves. Now, I did some research on violet ray. That seemed to be more popular back in the 30s and the 20s, especially amongst the physicians. It's a little bit like a mini Tesla coil, and it kind of works off the same principles as the Lakhovsky multi-wave oscillator. Now, what I'm picking up, though, is I think that there's something going on that we don't understand besides the scientific theory that there's frequencies that the body picks up like a tuning fork. And again, I'm not making a double sign. If there's a tuning fork that goes bing on the machine and the body resonates with the same frequency, so the machine's putting out frequencies that are like the healthy cells would put out, it tries to make them resonate. That's one theory. But what I picked up is, I guess they must have put these things in Faraday cages to make sure there's no sensitive electronic equipment could get damaged or interference with any kind of radio equipment. Well, when the whole apparatus is like, say, in a Faraday cage protected room, like the whole room is, like the whole thing is in it, the patient, the apparatus, and everything, it doesn't work. It doesn't have that effect. So obviously, it's more than, it works where you're picking up the frequencies on the oscilloscope and all that stuff, and it's turning on and all that, but somehow it's picking up other forces in nature. Now, I know I heard about Wilhelm Reich with his orgon and everything like that. I don't know what the hell it's picking up. I have no idea. I heard the theories, I don't know what it's doing exactly. Now, today, they do sell, they sell like the violet ray, which is like a lightweight version of a Tesla coil almost in a way. They sell that today in beauticians. They'll sell it for like healing skin, removing wrinkles, helping to stimulate hair growth, and whatever, that type of stuff. So, but they do not sell it as a medical apparatus. Actually, it was in 1951 the FDA sued the last manufacturer of it that was selling it for medical purposes, and they stopped it. And if you look back at like the 1920s and 30s, there were some people that had the violet ray, which is a simpler way to buy the the healing effects of this stuff that we're talking about that comes off the multi-wave oscillator or whatever it's doing. The violet ray back then worked off, of course it worked off electricity, but back then most households didn't have electricity, so many of them were sold with either they were DC, either adaptable to DC for batteries, or AC. And they were also able to plug into a light socket, because even in the 1930s, where most of the households probably didn't have electricity. The houses that had electricity had very few light sockets, maybe one or two, and you can just unscrew a light bulb and plug this device in and use the healing, the alleged healing violet ray bulbs, the apparatus, by powering it through the light bulb socket. So, little common sense on this, though, says that the violet ray probably does do a little bit more than just, because they're allowing it for beauticians. They're allowing it for like anti-wrinkles, anti-skin blemishes, to heal up the skin, to help stimulate hair growth. They allow it for that. And it makes you think, if it works for that, if it's helping heal the body that way, why couldn't it help to heal the body any other way? And here it goes back to something I said earlier. The one way that alternative medicine really shoots itself in the foot is by exaggerating. Oh, big time. It's like there's a lot of things out there that can have a lot of solid benefits, and when people like say it's a cure-all, and people find out it's not a cure-all, it's like it kills it. It kills it. And then all of a sudden that gives better impetus to more strength to the people that are trying to knock these things down, to find a way to knock them down. So, I think anybody who's in alternative medicine, or whatever the hell you want to call it, or healing or whatever, should always just tout it as an assistance to the body versus a cure. Just tout it as an assistance. It can help. It can maybe do some things, and results vary. That type of stuff. A lot of people, you might say something like that because, I don't know, it depends. Obviously, the medical establishment is about money. I know that. But the FDA, it doesn't really, it just follows orders, I guess, from the money. But the thing is, if you're not going to be over exuberant about what your claims are, it's kind of like putting you in a much better state where you're not antagonistic against the medical establishment and you're antagonistic against the FDA. So, but it looks like these things have some merit, I mean, even today, like I said, they're using them for beauticians, right? They're using them for like anti-wrinkle, anti-aging, healing the skin, helping hair growth. And you're thinking, well, if it's working on that, why wouldn't it help heal the body in other ways? Well, perhaps it does. Perhaps it has an influence. Maybe that's a better word. Maybe it's not a cure, but it's like it's almost like comparing it to like a couple vitamin pills. Some good foods and some vitamins can help the body heal, but are they a cure? No. Maybe it's something like along that type of lines of an analogy. But anyway, I've been using the device. I think I'm going to use it for about 30 minutes a day total. I looked up the specifications on it. There's one spark gap in there. It's 1/8 inch, no more than 1/8 inch. You could set it for more power, but then it can't run that long. So you just want to keep it, leave it alone where they set it. The device itself, the one I got from New Hampshire, can run up to 30 minutes, but I'm only running it for about 7 to 10 minutes at a time. I'm not running it for even 30 minutes. This way, I feel that everything can cool down on it. And I'll probably use it for a total of 30 minutes a day. So anyway, but yes, I know not to touch it and anything like that. I may get some of these argon bulbs that you can hold in your hands that will extend the frequency. Actually, it was Tesla that used argon with the originally used argon with the violet ray wand, so you can actually extend, the rays. It gets into the ultraviolet, which is more like what penetrates the body. But like I said, it may not be the actual frequencies that are actually doing a job. It's maybe somehow it's concentrating other energies around us that we don't understand. This William Reich, even though to me the guy seems pretty wacky too. To me, the William Reich with the orgonite, they make the little pyramids and stuff like that. Maybe there's something to it. Maybe what's going on with this device is somehow it's concentrating other energies that are all throughout the universe that are life-giving energies and helping concentrate them into the body. I don't know what's going on with it, to tell you the truth. The scientific explanation where they're saying frequencies are causing the cell's frequencies to go up to normal, that's what's helping the body heal, that might not be correct. Because, like I said, there's allegations or some people saying that it seems like the source was very good, that if the whole device and everything is put in a Faraday cage, it doesn't work. And that must mean there's something outside it's pulling in. And actually, it's also instructed that it works better near an open window. So something else, it's pulling in some other energies someplace. That's what it's doing. It's not actually the electrical specification of all the frequencies that's going on when you measure it with an oscilloscope. It's doing something else. So quite interesting. Now, I don't know if, the cat's never going to be able to use that thing because he's too scared of that puppy. But I'm probably going to set something up with, an orgone pyramid over his 2 places he likes to sleep besides the coil. And he'll get all the energies in the world. And, it's a cool little device, though, I think. It's, it's just that you have to be very careful, like where you plug it in, because even if I have it plugged in on a circuit that's nothing, no computers are plugged in onto it, I have it very far away from computers, any electronic equipment. I err on the side of caution. And I obviously know not to touch it, Although it won't kill you, it will sting you. But the thing is, it's, just like anything else. I mean, if you're an idiot and you use something incorrectly, there's nothing that can be done about it. If you're walking along a road and you forget to pick up your foot and trip on a curb and you fall down and you hit your head, it's the same thing. Pick up your feet and don't step up above the curve. Just like if you're going to use tools and things like that, it's the same thing. You have your saws and different things like that. You got to be careful with. So it's not a toy in that way, but it could possibly be, I don't know what you would call it exactly, but maybe it is something that enhances life. I'm not sure. So I'll be using it, and but I would not expect immediate results from anything like, how does it make you feel? Oh, I just want to point out that when you're around it, you can smell a little bit of like a clean type of ozone. There's different types of ozones that come off of things. Some are more harmful than others. This type of ozone that comes off of this is a clean ozone. It's a cleaner ozone. But I also use it with a fan nearby, so it's blown away. And you can feel like an ionic energy coming off of it. You can feel it on your arms and stuff. It's almost like a cool breeze, but it's not a breeze. It's almost like you can feel some type of energy coming off of it, other than the sparks, which I stay about a good foot away from it. So, but it's very interesting. And it probably, I did compare that to, like, say, a 6-cylinder Chevy versus a Ferrari Maserati. Maybe the Italian version that was by Lakhovsky with the 2 coils and the 3 spark or 4 spark gap adjusters in the Tesla coils, whatever the hell he's got in there, with the receiving coil and his descending coil, and they're much bigger. That might be like a Ferrari or Maserati, and this might be like the 6-cylinder Chevy version, which is much less price, made in the USA, but it probably will still work pretty well. So, I like the idea that it's made here in the United States, and that if I need to get, replace a capacitor at some point in time, I should be able to get a part for it, or spark gap, or whatever the hell I got to do, that I should be able to get a part for it, no problem. It says that you can run it, like I said, it says you can run it, the Tesla coil, the way it's set up with the 1/8-inch spark gap at up to 30 minutes with the Lakhovsky coil, but I don't run it that long. The max I've been running is 10 minutes, and I'll let it cool down for a couple hours. It doesn't have to cool down that long, obviously, but just being erring on the side of caution, because this way I won't have to replace nothing for it for a long time, and I plan to use it about 30 minutes a day. And I guess I could put my cat outside and he won't jump out of that thing as long as a truck doesn't come by. But I'd like to know how he jumped over 9 feet of fence that was curved in. Boy, that guy, that's all the vitamins I'm giving him, and the seaweed, and the best cat food without the byproducts, and the cat vitamin, and the coconut oil, and the apple cider vinegar, and salmon oil. He's like, even though he doesn't get a lot of exercise, well, he does kind of. He's probably pretty strong from good nutrition. So, but anyway, How do you tell your cat that this thing is like, what it is? You can't talk to him. He just hears a big noise, and cats don't like big noises. So anyway, I'm gonna probably set him up with something where I already got a couple things over his, where he sleeps with the Lakhovsky rings, and he's got one on his collar. So, but he gets scared of noises. He even got scared of a noise from a truck 50 feet away today. So I don't know. What the hell can I say? Anyway, that's my quick update, and I'll try to put out some more about this later on. But if you have any questions, let me know, because I find it very interesting. And actually, the one made here in the United States is, it's cheap enough. It seems like it's effective enough, and actually, I would recommend. Well, I would call it, well, I guess you can call it health multi-wave machine. They don't make any claims. You might call it like a rejuvenation machine or something. I don't know. I guess it's like some kind of tamer word, because, anytime you put out something like this, like if I decided to put out a Beck, I don't want to do this because I don't want to get involved with it, but I might make one for myself, an adjustable Beck zapper. I would really downplay it a lot. I would, and let people figure it out. If they like it, it's going to sell. If the truth is there, it sells. That's the way I look at it. So, don't make the big claims in alternative medicine, because you're giving the bad guys ammunition. That's the one thing I got to point out. But this is highly interesting. This is highly interesting to me, and I'm not really sure what's going on with it, other than, we know the electrical specifications, but it might be concentrating life forces throughout the universe into the body. Maybe that's what it's doing. And that's something that, as of now, people don't understand it. People don't understand it, I mean, there could be somebody out there with 50 million degrees that says he understands it, but, even Bob Beck admitted that with all the degrees he has, he really doesn't understand electricity, and really nobody else does. Nobody else does. There's a lot of things going on. So it's an interesting device, to say the least.